Hi folks, so here's the wrap up for my Dewey's 24-hour readathon, which I slept for just over 7 hours in the middle of it, but I read the entire time otherwise with just really short breaks. So, as planned, I started on my Kindle with Binti, the novella by Nadia Carfol, which I really enjoyed. It only took me an hour to read, and it was about a girl from a race of people who, they were humans, but their particular race didn't travel, didn't leave the planet. They stayed at home. They anointed themselves, their hair and their skin, with a mixture of clay and oil. And she was a harmonizer, which meant she could harmonize energy and harmonize anything she liked. And she, loved math, and she got the best scores and was the first person of her people to be accepted into the university planet, which her family didn't want to go to. But so the story was her, she basically ran away from home to go to university, ended up meeting aliens who killed everybody around her, and it's her story. But it's actually it's a hopeful story, where her abilities of harmonizing actually helped the situation, and it turned out to be a really hopeful story, and I really, really loved it. Then I started rereading Trickster's Choice by Tamora Pierce, which I love this book. I really do. I love the duology, actually. I think as much as I love all of Tamora Pierce's work that I've read, and I've read most of it, I think her later series are really fascinating and really mature, despite being, they are YA and they are fantasy, but like this one is about Ali, the daughter of a previous character, and it's all about spycraft in this world that she lives in, and sort of protecting people and rebellion. So that was great. I read that on and off throughout the readathon. And then after going to sleep, I woke up in the morning and I read The Green Mill Murder by Kerry Greenwood. This is one of the Miss Fisher stories, and again, really enjoyable. I've seen the TV episode based on this book, but it was still like a really fun read. Had me laughing all the time, beautiful frocks, but amazingly some quite sober moments, particularly when hearing Bert and Cess talk about their experiences at Gallipoli and on the front in France in World War One, which is appropriate given what today is for Australia, Anzac Day. So I finished that, and then I decided to read digitally an Asterix comic. So I read Asterix the Gulp, which I think was even more amusing now than it was when I was a kid. Because I just kept cracking up over the various names of characters, the Roman characters and the Gaulish characters, because they're just so wishy. So I did that, and then, then I decided to read another one on my Kindle, which was, that's right, possibly not next. Sorry, I got confused. I read an hour of The Red Queen by Isabel Carmody, which ended up being two chapters, which was like 46 pages, I think. So a decent chunk, but it's a heavy book, and I was kind of getting tired, and I wanted to go to a cafe, so I went to a cafe and I took my Kindle and I started reading Half Off Ragnarok by Shauna Maguire, which is one of her encrypted novels, which meant I got to sit there for a couple of hours and enjoy the Aislinn mice, because who doesn't love talking religious mice? And during the walk to the cafe and home from the cafe, I listened to an episode of the Glass Slipper Scandal on the Sheep Might Fly podcast by Tansy Rayner Roberts. So this is her latest short story, which is audio only at the moment. And it's basically like a tweet of tabloid journalism and fairy tales and royalty. So that's fun. And then I ended up deciding that by the time I got home, I was quite tired and quite cold. And so I decided to mostly read the Tamora Pierce for the rest of the time. And then I interspersed that with short stories from one small step. And so I read 7 of the ones in this book. So 7 out of the 16. All by women. And there was some really quite interesting ones. Some quite hopeful, some quite sad. There was one called, what was called? It was called Firefly Epilogue by Jodie Clayton, and that was really, really quite sad, to do with making the decision about the person making the decision in their unconscious coma to let go and die, rather than making their family make that choice. So that was really sad. But yeah, so I basically, for the rest of the readathon, I interspersed those short stories with my Tomorrow Peace reread. So basically I ended up completing a novella, a novel, a comic, and 7 short stories, and reading bits of 3 other novels, which I think for 24 hours minus 7 or so hours sleeping, pretty good. Alright, that's it. See ya.